Alright, this is a tutorial on how I do the knockout in Cricut Design Space. I do not know how to do this in a Silhouette. I have a Cricut and I use Cricut Design Space. I do use Silhouette for other things, but I do not have the Silhouette machine, the plotter itself. And I have not tried to do a knockout in the Silhouette program itself. So this is how I use Cricut Design Space to do a knockout. I also wanted to preface this by saying I am sorry for any background noises you hear. My children, and I'm also a heavy breather, so I'm sorry for all that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to click on New Project. And it comes up to a new blank screen. We're going to go over here to Text. And I've been doing a lot of mom cups here lately, so we're going to do mom in all capital letters. I'm going to slide this up to the top. I'm going to resize, make it a little bit bigger. With the mom cups, I tend to like doing the Georgia font. So Georgia. There it is. We're going to resize it again. Looks pretty good. We're going to go back over here to text. And we're going to do just a random name. We're going to do Jim Bob. Capital J. The rest of it will be small. Jim. And I'm just going to do Jim Bob as 2 words so that you get the idea of how to do two names, or you can do 3 names. I've done 3. That's been the max that I've done. But I'm going to split Jim Bob into 2 names. So I'm going to do Jim. Click out of that, and I'm going to go back over here to text, and I'm going to do Bob. I like to do the names separately. If they are separate names, I like to do them separately, only because when you go to do the letter spacing up at the top, some names letters can be closer together, and when you do the letter spacing, squeezing them all together, sometimes certain letters, their little tails come through on this name, and this name over here is not scrunched together, so it's easier to play around with when the names are separate. So we're going to go back over here to Jim. I find it easier to do the letter spacing when the names are a little bit bigger and I can see where the tails come off of one letter into another. So we're going to resize him pretty big, and I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to type in Yessie. And Yessie is a font that I downloaded from DeFont. And there's Jim. And we're going to group him together. That looks pretty good right there. So we're going to move him up. We're going to downsize him. That was a little small. I'm going to leave him over here in the corner. Come over here to Bob. If you would click and drag. It's been difficult. Alright. I'm going to resize him, make him pretty big again. Up here to font. We're going to change him to Yessie as well. And we're going to group him together. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, so now that they look pretty good, I'm going to weld the letters together. I'm going to weld Jim. Weld. Alright, and we're going to resize these to there till they are pretty close to the same size. I have connected some of the letters with the hearts, but I tend to think that them being closer together, but not quite connected, looks pretty good. That looks pretty decent together, Jim Bob. Now for this, I'm going to turn these names white because I want to see what it looks like on the mom font in the background. Make sure the mom font is in the back. We need to go ahead and weld these. If they look pretty much the same size, they look like they're pretty much level. Both names are pretty level with each other. Go ahead and weld them together as well. Alright, we're going to move Mom back up here. Alright, and it's in the background. Now at this point we're going to do the names. Well, apparently it didn't weld them together, did it? Did it weld them? No, it did not. Let's try this again. Looks pretty level. Weld. Alright, did it that time. Now if you pay attention over here in the box, which I didn't do, you'll be able to see the weld result and see that the two names were welded together, which I did not pay attention to that. We're going to pull this down just a little bit so we can see it. On the name Jim Bob, I'm going to unlock that because I want to be able to stretch it outwards, but I also want to be able to resize it to make it slightly smaller in the very center. So we're going to stretch it until that it looks like it fits nice and pretty right in the center of Mom. And that looks pretty decent. I like that. Alright. It looks like it's going to fit pretty well. So we are going to change this to a print image. We're also going to change the font color to black. Alright, we're going to go up here to make it. And this is going to come up as though it's a print then cut. We're going to check, make sure everything looks good. And we're going to hit continue. And we're going to send to printer. Alright, and over here at printer you have a couple options. And we're going to use the print to PDF. There is a way to do this using the system dialog. I can't get a preview to come up on my system dialog to be able to do this, so this is just how I do it, and I find it's pretty easy. I have not seen a difference as to adding bleed or not, so I just leave it on. It's already on. And we're going to hit print, and that should ask us here in just a few minutes to name this PDF. So if you'll just give it a minute, let it load. It's coming up. We're going to name it Jim Bob Knockout. I already did one. I screwed up that voiceover, that part of the voiceover, so I had to start over again, so you'll see it right there. So because it's already right there, we're just going to hit cancel. You will save. I hit cancel because I've already saved it. Alright, we're going to minimize this, and now that you have saved Jim Bob as a PDF, you're going to go find it in your library, and there's the Jim Bob Knockout as we've saved it. Okay, up here in the right hand corner, you'll see these three little dots. What I like to do is zoom out to about 50%. Now down here in the bottom I have this nifty little tool in my little tool tray down here at the bottom. It's called the Snipping tool, and you can find it if you go over here. I just typed in Snipping tool. You'll see it right there, and then I just downloaded that. So what the Snipping tool does is when you open it up, it pops up like this. I'm just going to move this out of the way, and you're going to click New. And it's going to give you a little arrow to let you essentially crop where you want to snip. So we're going to go right on the inside of this box, making sure not to cut off any letters, and we're going to snip that. And there's your snip. You are going to come up here to File in the left-hand corner, and you're going to Save As. And again, we're going to name this Jim Bob Knockout 2. This is the file that we're going to be using in the Cricut design space. So we're going to save that. Right, we're going to go back over here to Cricut. We're going to make sure to cancel out everything because we don't need that now. Yes, we want to cancel the cut. Cancel again. We're going to go over here to upload. On the left hand side, we're going to upload an image and browse. You want to look for your Jim Bob, but you're going to want to make sure that it is not the PDF. You're going to make sure that it's the Knockout 2. We're going to click on that and we're going to open. I like to use simple. It's just there. We're just going to use simple and we're going to continue. And I'm going to take that out just a little bit. Up here in the left hand corner you have select and erase, erase and crop. We're just going to select and erase. And we are going to erase all the white on the outside. Now what we're not going to do is we're not going to go into the heart, the little swirls, the loops, anywhere that the white was not erased on the inside of the letters. And sometimes, say right here on the going into the letter Bob, you may have like a little corner that's a little bit white. You can leave those as long as initially the white on the outside of the letters is gone. If there's a few specks here and there, it's not going to be that big of a deal. If there's a few corners and whatnot that isn't completely erased, I wouldn't worry about it. Just one click on the outside, get rid of all the white on the outside. We're going to click continue. You can, if you want, before you click continue, you can hit the preview and you will kind of see what the knockout's going to look like a little bit. So we're going to hide the preview. We're going to go over here to continue and we're going to save this as a cut image. We're going to save. Alright, we're going to insert this image. It always comes in vertical, so we're going to swing this around, let line up just a little bit. I want to turn it white so that I can see. I can see a little better. Okay, we're going to put that, he's kind of crooked in there, and straighten him up just a little bit. I'm going to put it right here in the middle of Mom where I want it to be. And you can resize it up here, make it smaller or bigger. And we're going to make sure that Jim Bob down here on the bottom, the actual font, we're going to make sure that it is sent to the front. We're going to slide him up and see how he fits inside what is going to be our knockout. See if we need to resize some of the letters just a little bit. Make sure he fits. He's a little too big in there. That's not too bad. Probably do a little better, but that's not too bad. Alright, so we're going to move the name back out. We're going to leave the two pieces, the knockout and the Mom, together. We're going to select both of those. We're going to come down here to the bottom right hand corner and slice should be highlighted. We're going to click slice. Alright, and I'm just going to move the word Mom out of the way and I'm going to delete all of this because we don't need that. Move Mom back up here and move Jim Bob back in there. There you go. And you can move things around just a little bit so that it fits a little better to your preference. But essentially he's in there. Probably could have done a little bit better of a job with the expanding a little bit, making sure that Jim Bob fit a little better in there, but we'll work with what we got. Might move this just a little bit, see if that helps. It'll work anyways. Alright, so Jim Bob, the name Jim Bob at this very moment is a print and cut. So you can do this whole thing as a print and cut. I've done that on curved surfaces. It seems to work pretty well on straight surfaces. But you can move the Mom Mom is a cut, Jim Bob is a print and cut. You can come up here to the fill, you can change it to no fill, it turns it back to a just a cut piece. And if we gave it a little bit more space when we did the knockout, it probably would look a little bit better, but there it is.